I'm Joe Vella. I will be your moderator, but you guys don't want to talk to me. We've got some incredible legacy voice actors here today. So if you want to tell us a couple of the other roles that you have done besides Metal Gear Solid, Michael, please take it away.
Michael Bell, I did I Am the Fear. The Fear. I have no recollection of doing any other voices. Gregg reminded me that we owed them 3 voices besides the main character plus 2 others. I'm sure I did something else in there. Is there a character, Aunt Mary? Anyway, I just remember doing The Fear. I'm sure I did something else. I can't recall which, but I never played the game since I don't know how to do that. Not a clue.
Played that ball in a cup.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Analog. Hey, analog games are still games, right?
That's it. It's the Hangman. I can play Hangman. That's it.
Ooh, yeah.
With real people.
Yes.
Hey, wait a minute.
Gregg.
Hi, I'm Gregg Berger. Can you feel the pain? Bullet bees are free. I had a great time and was honored and privileged to be part of the Metal Gear franchise. It's one of many, many things I do. I am part of the original Transformers G1 cast. I'm part of Me No Bozo. And I'm Long Haul, who was part of Devastator. I do a lot of voice work, thankfully, and I'm thankful for all of it. I do what I love. I love what I do. And it's been going on this way for an inordinate period of time, and I'm grateful for all of it.
Woo! It's your turn. Finally.
So nervous. Hi! My name is Charlie Schlatter, and I played Major Rykov in Metal Gear Solid 3, which really ties the first 2 together. Aside from that, yeah, I've done a lot of stuff. I've played The Flash in like a million different things, including Lego Flash, Justice League, the Batman series, the Superman series. I've played The Flash. I was Kevin 11 on Ben 10 for the original series. Kick Butowski from Mellowbrook, and that little bee that flies around, the be happy, be healthy. I did that honey nut bee for. It's very sexy, I know. I usually only do that at nighttime, just 'cause Gregg gets excited, and that's about it. But yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I kept asking. I said I really want to be a part of this Metal Gear Solid stuff, just because it's so cool. And I will say the fans of it are really. Awesome.
I swear,
Yeah.
the first time we announced MGSCON, there was like an email from Charlie being like, y'all need Rykov there? And we've been trying to get him here for 2 years, so can we please give him a round of applause for finally making it to MGSCON?
I just need to get out of the house.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I play paramedic. You guys are going to make me cry. My reputation was spotless. I'm highly skilled, patient, and good-looking to boot. And I also promised Snake, I kept telling him, I said, if you do die, I will make sure you have a proper autopsy. I'm so excited to be here. As many of you have lovely and have stayed in line to see me, this is my first convention.
Wow.
So, can maybe I'm just very deeply honored, and I have told my husband this many times. I think that the Metal Gear community, my tribe, we are a family. And I think you are some of the most intelligent people I have ever met, and creative and eccentric and fabulous and quirky and everything I love about this game. And good looking to boot. So thank you so much. I was Alexandra. I don't know if any of you played Soul Calibur. And also, if there's any, I don't know, Honey and Clover, Hagumi Hanamoto, or Monster. Did anybody play? Somebody came up to me and was actually played Monster, which was really exciting. Very dark, fun sci-fi, which, as me and paramedic, love the sci-fi horror. So I'm just very, very grateful to be here, and thank you for having me.
One more big round of applause for first convention, right? Anybody out there, is it your first convention? That's why we do this. And that's why it's special. Like, you are all so brave for taking that first step, because you never know how it's gonna be. And some of you are probably pretty nervous about it, and then you're here for your 5 minutes and you're just like, I am never leaving here again.
Right, because it is a family.
It is.
It's just, once you've experienced Metal Gear and you've experienced that story and you fall in love with these characters, it's just, you become a family. So I'm very grateful. We're a great family. Metal Gear fans are the friggin' best.
Yeah.
The best. So.
Is there anyone for whom this is not their first convention? I want to show y'all some love too. We appreciate
veterans.
you guys for coming back. Thank you for having positive experiences that keep you coming back. My name is James Mathis III. I play Sigint in the Metal Gear series. I've also been in Baby Shark, as well as Star Wars, The Clone Wars, and most recently, Marvel Rivals as the voice of Black Panther.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a good gig, dude.
We've got such an we've got heroes, we've got villains. It's so incredible to see the wide range of characters. And I love the reactions, like when finding out you're a honeybee, and like when we get that reaction, because it's like any voice can come from any person if you try hard enough. So when it comes to finding the voices of, for you villains, what do you go for? What are the things that you draw from when you're looking to make those voices? Michael.
Oh,
Yeah,
me.
You. Yeah.
Did I play villains?
You did play a villain. Yeah. The fear is a villain.
I'm suffering from voiceheimers. Yes, Transformers. No, I think I was a good guy all the way through. Good people.
Well, you can talk about how do you find your good voice then?
By playing villains. Let's see. Major Blood. Yeah, Major Blood from G.I. Joe.
Okay.
Was a villain from my point of view. And Blackthorn from Humanoids. I know I grabbed my voice from characters that I had seen in movies. Like Jack Palance is a great villain.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And so I remember his voice, and I remember doing something in a particular show where I played a villain, and I had to do something that was other than one of these guys, which is pretty much what we go to. That's our go-to villain, is Summers over here. So I wound up talking like that, and just kind of heavy breathing, like Jack Palance. And I thought, okay, that'll work. That'll work for a villain. Major Blood, of course, talk like this, right? With New Zealander.
Sometimes British people can be very evil.
Yes, yeah. I won't get into politics, but you never know when somebody is a villain.
Politics at a Metal Gear convention?
What?
Weird. Greg?
The subject comes up a lot, but honestly, I don't think there's that much difference between constructing a villain and a hero, because although the audience perceives the villain as villainous, the villain doesn't. The villain thinks they've got the answer to everything, whether it's taking over the world or whether it's taking over the, whatever side you're on. They're driven, if you do it correctly, by the same goal as the hero. It's just, look, realistically, villains get to chew the scenery, whereas heroes come to save the day. But that's not how the villain perceives himself. Using the pain as an example, and boy, I wish my peas would stop popping. This is my first day in the business. Using the pain.
Now you've just like
Using the pain.
We need a windscreen up here. We need a windscreen.
That guy from Metal Gear. He's interesting to me. All characters are interesting to me because an artist has labored over them, given you a million clues. The writer has labored over them, giving you a breakdown that you can sink your teeth into. And any actor that doesn't respect that and realize that you're there to add a third dimension to what already exists, we're the last ones in and the first ones out, and we get a disproportionate amount of the adoration and acclaim. I'm not undervaluing that contribution. Our goal is to breathe life into that character that already exists in 2 dimensions. But the pain is crazy conflicted, or not conflicted, but complex, because he's enduring this insane level of pain within him, and he's tortured, and at the same time, he's cruel, so he's inflicting pain on others. Well, I think that's really interesting to me, and that's where I came from. And you end up with something that I don't think is stereotypical because there's too many factors. So the more layers you can add for yourself, no matter what the character, the more three-dimensional it becomes. It's not voice-driven, it's actor-driven, and the voice follows. And if you've done the work and realize a character in 3 dimensions, I think it resonates. I hope it resonates. Anyway, that's me.
Yeah, I think Gregg hit the nail on the head 100 times just now. He's exactly right. It's not just creating or mimicking or coming up with what you think is evil. It's the writing. It's all the stuff that's presented to you before you even approach it. The only thing I would add, and maybe you'll agree, I think a really great villain also has a really great sense of humor. And I think when they find joy in their evil, you as a listener or as a watcher, you also are, sort of foaming at the mouth too. You sort of take, a lot of joy in that. But that's the only other thing I would say. But you're right. It's the writing. These guys have put so much time and effort into everything they do. So many times, my only complaint, sometimes actors come in and they feel like, oh, I've got to improvise, I've got to do this. It's the writing. I always try to give them at least everything they wrote. I try to honor the capital, the ellipsis, everything they've written. And then after we get 2 or 3 of those in the can, then you say, why don't I try this just so you have it if you need it? Boom, boom, boom. But no, I think every one of us has to have respect for writing because those are the real creative minds.
We wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
It's interesting because in the last panel, Lori Allen was talking about improv, but the context in which she was talking about improv was when it comes to delivering lines.
Right.
Like being put on the spot by your director to be able to change things up quickly. It's not changing the lines themselves, it's being able to change based on what they need.
Being a flexible performer.
Exactly.
A flexible performer, yes, indeed.
And just being in it and wanting to do well for everybody. Because I think a lot of us didn't just voice over by ourselves.
Right.
We had other people. I had David and I had Jim Piddick, so I had the Major and I had Snake, so it was just this incredible experience of, it's very intense, but we were in it, and we just wanted to, like you said, we wanted to honor the writing, we wanted to honor the storytelling, because I think that's why Metal Gear 3 is so special, because it is the storytelling. To me, it's just, I think it's the best out of all of them. It's just the storytelling, yeah.
It is the best one,
It is.
Heather. What's your problem?
Thank you, Charlie.
I'd probably lean more into
Just say
the
it.
good guy sound, I guess, if you will, because my character is a good guy of sorts, and his good is giving information. I lean more into that, right? Just the vocality of information and what it means to be a good guy, and how we lead with our actions, but as well as our words. And since my character didn't necessarily have a physical embodiment within the game, you heard him by way of codec. It was important to deliver the information of the hero in a very intelligent way.
And you gave a lot of humanity, though, to it, too.
Indeed, and that's what I appreciated. I appreciated the duality we talk about that in the black community a lot and how we have to, be able to go two different ways.
Yeah.
And my character was able to do that because I can give very succinct information about weaponry and then at the same time say what?
Exactly.
Well, one of my favorite conversations is between the two of you when Snake's talking about the glow cap mushrooms. And they're talking about how it recharges your battery. And like you're talking to each other. It's just like, should we tell him?
Yeah, should we actually
tell him? It's like, yeah, I guess so. Or the dumbass box.
The box is best. And you know what's so funny, because with both of us being a codec, and I didn't realize at the time that paramedic had this huge character arc. So for me, it was like, I had that villain. It took me a while to figure out that Dr. Clark, paramedic, becomes somewhat of a villain, but with Gray Fox, she actually really wants to help him in the beginning. But that science and that ethics kind of goes a little bit askew. So, because at first I think she really wanted to help him, but working with Snake and being able to help with the flora and fauna and the deoxyribo.
It's easy for you.
Nucleic acid.
Yes.
Reticulated python. So yeah, I wish I had had that opportunity to get to play a little bit more with the villain. But it was really cool to be able to find out more about how paramedic, made her decisions. So, and I can see it now too. So I get to play good and bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was talking to all of you before this, and I completely understand. You're professionals. For this is your job. For us, this was like our entire summers, for some of us, our childhood. So like, probably everyone in this audience could recite every single one of your lines to you, But you guys were all
cool.
I don't really remember a whole lot. So I will ask, what do you, do you have any anecdotes? Is there any part of the process, meeting anybody involved or recording anything that you do remember from anybody?
I recall, I don't know about everybody else on the panel, but I worked by myself.
Oh, did you?
I didn't work with anybody else. So these were lines that were just out of the blue. I saw the character, based his voice on the size of his tongue, and said, okay, is this okay? And Chris Zimmerman, I believe, directed, did she not?
Yeah.
Yep.
And Chris said, yeah, that voice will go. I sometimes wonder if another voice would have gone. Not a clue what anybody else was doing. And I'm sure all of them, we were working a lot during that period of time. So you're going from job to job to job to job. Thank you, God.
Yes.
And you had to come up sometimes with a new character because you didn't want to revisit another character that you did in another game. It's kind of like wearing somebody else's shorts. You didn't want to do that, so you wanted to come up with a fresh pair. And so you wound up doing something that was a little bit different and try to come out of the box with something different. So looking at the character, they gave you a prototype. They gave you a drawing of the character. And you said, where will I go with this? Obviously, the way the dialogue is, he's creepy, he's scary. As Gregg said, I don't consider him the bad guy. It's just that he's, the creepy guy. He's the babysitter no one will ever hire. So, okay, we'll give this a shot, but I only worked by myself. And then once I finished that, went on to other things. And then so when I got the call to come and do this, I said, I don't know what I'm going to talk about because I don't know anybody else. I didn't even know Gregg was in the show. And I've known him we used to be married. So I've known him for some time. So that's so bizarre, to suddenly sit up here and say, hey, I know all about it. So when a fan comes up and says, remember when you said this? I usually, very quick, don't go there. I don't want to know about it. Just talk to me. I want to know about you. I don't want to know about what it was I did once because I really don't recall, unfortunately.
You get such little information sometimes. Sometimes you get like a picture and a code name. Like you don't even know what game you're actually recording dialogue for. So when people are like,
If
Right.
If you get a picture, right?
Right.
So it's like when this thing finally comes out, like it's like sure I did, you know, like absolutely.
I think the code names is a relatively new thing, though. I don't know that there were code names when we were doing Metal Gear. I remember the audition process
Yes.
very well because it asked for kind of Will Smith energy, right?
You didn't slap me though.
Yes.
What is that?
Young Will Smith energy.
Fresh Prince, yeah,
Fresh
Fresh
Prince
Prince,
of Will
Prince era,
Smith energy.
MIB, yeah, that
So
era.
they asked for that, and you know that was in my wheelhouse. I'm from the East Coast. I'm from Brooklyn. I grew up watching Will and the Cosby Show and a lot of shows that featured black people. So I understood the energy very well, and I also pride myself on a decent turn of phrase. So I was comfortable with the language, right? And
They said the same thing to me. They said we want Will Smith energy. What's
See?
going on here?
typecasting.
Oh my God.
They don't want to typecast you,
Got Wilford Brimley energy.
right?
Right. There's nothing wrong with that.
So I dug that. I had worked with Chris Zimmerman one other time before this game. And this game was my first game. Like, this was the first big game. Thank you. Thank you. This is my first big game. I didn't know what this world was. I didn't know what a AAA game meant. I didn't understand the distinction. But I also knew it was the first time I had repeat sessions on a project. And looking back on it, I'm like, I said a lot of words in this game.
You've got a lot to
say
talk
in this
about.
game. Yeah.
There's a lot of guns in that game.
And I was pretty new to voiceover. You know, I was not new to acting, but I was new to voiceover. And so it was a great opportunity for me to be the embodiment of a type that I felt like I could be and be successful at, as well as putting my own spin on it by way of adding the intellectual beat that he was not necessarily known for.
And it was fun, but for me, it was like paramedic was me. So that was just such a joy. It was like, oh my gosh, I love the movies, and I've told a lot of you today, the movies and just the quirkiness and just the fun, goofy, and sometimes funny. And when it was also my first big game, and I had no idea how big this game was. And I remember going home going, oh my gosh. And I have to tell you this, when I met David for the first time, I didn't know who David was. And I'm sitting there, I said, hi, my name is Heather Halley. And he's like, hey, Heather, how you doing? And I go, doing really well. I'm like, so what do you do? He goes, this is what I do. And I went, good for you. You got a steady gig, my friend.
Yeah.
And then I said, it's good. I said, you're going to get more. You're going to get more. We're going to do good. And I said, what else do you do? He goes, well, I'm a writer. And I'm like, good for you. You keep it up. You keep that up. And I said, well, what have you written? Oh, X-Men. And I'm like, oh my God. But it was so cool to be able to play someone that was so much like myself. And to bring that to life. So, yeah, and also with the villains and for us Kodak people, there was a saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is Bruce Wayne, that says, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself as a villain.
Yeah, that's Dark Knight.
Like-
It's Harvey Dent that actually
Is it
says
Harvey Dent?
Yeah,
I
Harvey
just
Dent.
love that because it goes with, I think, with all of us because we don't know the trajectory of where we're going to go. Are we going to drastically change? And bottom line is, are we going to make the right choices? Right. So, anyway.
Yeah, so, James, your character actually goes on to have a further story in the Metal Gear universe, because you turn into the DARPA chief, who is a character that was around since 1998.
Right.
So did you go back and watch any of the DARPA chief stuff before you recorded anything?
No.
Cool. Yeah.
I had no idea what this world was.
Sure.
I knew I was an actor, and knowing what the world was for me at that time wouldn't have informed my choices. The type that they wanted me to embody was the most that I knew about this world and space. And I showed up to do the work, and that was it. I left my work in the room, and then and here we are. Here we are. I learned to appreciate
Chris Zimmerman, the woman who did Chris Salter, I guess now.
Yes.
But she was one of the best at finding talent, at developing talent, at casting. She's been amazing. I think every one of us, anybody who's done this for a while, thanks the Lord that they got to work with her at one point, because she is amazing.
Yeah, she definitely got me
I
in
had
the
worked
game.
with her in a series that I'm sure nobody ever saw. It was called The Fish Police.
Fish Police.
Fish Police, yeah. Yeah.
Were you
Who are you gonna call?
a fish
Who are you
policeman?
gonna call? Yeah, but anyway, it was because of that Chris called me for this, because again, it's amazing how many of us, like, this was our first game. Like, she really brought in a bunch of rookies to do this thing, and I had really never done game stuff, and I said, what do you want from this character? And she said, just you, but a little bitchier, and I am. I was like, I'd give her bitchy in spades.
That's
And
awesome.
Yeah.
so, but yeah, and I will say my only memory of this, because like you were saying, James, as an actor, I was surprised. I didn't know this world of video games, and I, unlike a lot of people who work in a vacuum or with one other person, I got to work with like 5 other actors. Or I think there were like 6 of us in a couple of our sessions. All I remember thinking was, oh my God, these guys are great actors.
Thank you.
This is a game? This is what? I could not believe the level of talent
Well,
that
Jim
was.
Piddock, who plays
Yeah.
the Major, he is this, phenomenal British actor.
Oh,
that is-
I know. There's just unbelievable. The talent is off the charts, except for Gregg. Everybody else.
The word game
Yeah.
brings up a memory for me, and Chris said, believe me, this comes from the top. They're all called games, but she said, our task is to create an immersive experience. And she said, I want you to think of it in terms of an experience rather than a game. Yes, there are players, but the goal is to immerse them in this story, which is so deep and textured and layered that they feel like it's their own personal experience. I remember that very well.
The
That's
characters
amazing.
Oh, and
live.
I also worked alone, so that puts an enormous burden on the director, because they're painting you in and out of scenes where other actors have already appeared, and then the sound mixer engineer is doing a jigsaw puzzle when you record separately. That has become the way of the world now since the pandemic, to be perfectly honest. And ensemble recordings, which I believe have a contagious energy, whether it's urgency, intensity like Metal Gear, or just stupidity like the Garfield show, whatever it is, it's more of that when we're allowed to be in the sandbox and play together. It's hard to teach a younger generation how to behave in an isolated, alienated setting where there's a wall of safety glass between you and the people that you're reading for, and you're just sort of trying to channel what's being fed to you and make sure that you fit in. And they tend not to stop you until it's not going with the flow. But that's almost unteachable. That's somehow you're just dialed in, and it's really intense between you and the director so that your imagination fits their storyboard.
Right. I don't know if anybody else here, but I had this situation where when I auditioned, I didn't audition for a paramedic. I auditioned for somebody completely different. I couldn't even remember who it was. And she said, no, because I was walking out the door. She's like, come here. And I'm like, oh. And she said, just, would you read for this? And I did. And thankfully, I became a part of the family.
So your character talks a lot about movies. Do you
Yes.
love movies in real life?
Yes, I do.
Were there any movies that you discovered by watching them, like through, like you hadn't watched before, you recorded the lines and you're like, I'm gonna go back and watch this movie?
Yes. And I've told a lot of people that have come in that I've met today that it's like during Halloween, it's Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Awesome.
Or when with my mom loved The Creature from the Black Lagoon. So I got to sit down and watch that with her. And then I was talking earlier about The Fly. And that was like, oh my gosh, that is paramedic.
The original?
The original.
Okay.
1958 with Vincent Price. Yep. The original is, please watch it. Please watch that film and let me know what you think. Because with paramedic, it's like the doctor in the Fly. He was working with molecular biology. I was working with DNA, and he went kind of mad. And just that again, that humanity and that science and ethics working so close together. It was for me. I'm like, oh my God, that's paramedic. So when I was doing the game, I'm like, she's the same guy that's in the Fly. So movies have been a huge part of my life, not just as far as with acting and wonderful actors that I have learned from, but also just certain times in my life, I can sit down and go, I can relate to the creature from the Black Lagoon. I'm a bit of an outcast. Nobody understands me, so.
Awesome.
I understand you.
I thank you, Charlie.
Anybody got some questions? Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, my question's for James and Heather. There's a lot of optional codecs in Snake Eater, like the one that had the Russian glow cap that you brought up. There's one where, like, for example, like if Snake is shirtless, he asks if he can take off his pants, and Sigint taps into a bit of like that Brooklyn side you mentioned. My question is, how much of that delivery and writing is scripted, and how much of it is kind of the stuff you come up with on the spot, and if any are like stand out to you, these kind of silly optional codecs?
I will certainly defer to the writing team. That is the structure and the backbone of the game.
Yes.
They hire actors with flexibility to add their own secret sauce. And so I would have followed the script, but I would have added my own color, my own flair, okay, with license, with creative license.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's you. You are like, when you play this game, he's the sauce.
Indeed.
These are characters that you want to know that they're okay in the world, and I agree with James. It is the writing, it's the storytelling, especially in this series of the Metal Gear. So it was very intense. It was very intense. I don't know if you had that experience.
I think my role really called for a code switcher, a brother who could code switch.
Thank you.
Right? Who can get straight A's in the classroom and then go outside and be like, what's good, Joe?
That's right.
What's good?
That is
And I could do
right.
that. Right?
Yeah, because you got the street creds.
Indeed.
Thank you. I hope that answered your question, honey.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my question is for between James and Heather. Were there any specific lines that you guys like really enjoyed from the original script when you guys read it, between like the interactions between Snake and the Major? And I guess one of my favorite ones is like when you guys are talking between like the Snake on one of the uniforms he gets, which is chocolate chip, and James, you add like this great moment where you're like, I don't know, the Major really likes those like weird cookies he's always been eating, and it's like, they're scones. So.
With the Major, I think, it was James Bond. James Bond and I and the Major. I think for me that was the biggest one.
I think Sigint's relationship with Snake, at least the way I felt, it was like he was kind of like his cousin in some ways. Because you can talk to your cousin a certain way, but you'll also still give him some science.
Right.
Yeah. I think we have that little playful thing, He's kind of like family.
I think I was his guardian angel. I'd like to think that I was his guardian angel. He was, in fact, I for the Virtuosus mission, and then when it came to the second mission, coming into becoming paramedic and not Dr. Clark, I did it because of Snake. I actually volunteered to do it and risked my medical license to do it. It was amazing.
Cool. We got a question over here.
So from the previous panel and from this panel, I've been getting the idea or the impression that you're both implanting yourselves into the characters, but at the same time, you're also sort of not implanting yourselves into the characters. You mentioned for Sigint, they were looking for a Will Smith type voice. They were looking for something you could mimic or replicate, and at the same time, you manage, from at least the way you described it, managed to instill some of yourself and your experiences into the character. I guess my question, once I said all of that,
You're doing great.
Thank you. The question is for everyone. People who've played evil characters who, are not evil people, people who, doctors, scientists, and whatever. How do you balance that level of separation with the character and balancing, inputting yourselves into the character, so to speak?
I think the separation is more common than the similarity. So I don't go into roles expecting them to be something that I can play with ease. I don't expect the majority of roles to be made for people like me necessarily. So I'm already expecting to put in some work, right? And so even something that's similar to my type, that's just a launching pad. That's just a starting point, right? I have to still do the work as an actor to find the nuances, to find the complexities, to find the things to make it real for the character and not just have every character be a version of me.
Right. Yeah. But you still have some of you in every single one of them. Yeah. So it makes it unique.
I agree. I think that you, as a human being, is probably more interesting than any written character. Because it's so genuine and it's so different. It's, we're like fingerprints. Everybody's got their own. Our voices are completely different. And so, yeah, I think you do, and I think a great casting person knows that even though James may not be anything like this guy, there's something in him. There's something in his DNA that makes sense with this character.
Well, and if we only played things that we were similar to, that becomes typecasting.
Yeah.
Right?
And really boring.
And really
bad. And that's the great thing about animation.
Yes.
We could be heroes. Look, I'm 5'2". I played and we played giants, and we play. It's the sky's the limit.
Nobody cares
In
what you look
voiceover,
like.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
The only limits there are the ones that we put on ourselves. And as far as your question, I think anybody who does it, and again, this is a really difficult concept to teach, because it sounds cryptic, but if you live it, you know it. You let the character reach out to you while you're reaching out to the character. Something happens in Transformers in cyberspace, but let's say in cyberspace, and something happens. And you realize what attracts you to the character and what attracts the character to you. And you have to kind of Vulcan mind meld that and let it affect what you do. But not to the point where you walk into a booth so rehearsed that you can't surprise yourself at the same time you're surprising them. Yeah. Also difficult to teach. How do you teach someone to be spontaneous other than send them to improv classes so they learn how to listen, stay in the moment, and respond? But it's hard to teach these things. There's also an aspect of see it and be it. You're trying to force all this stuff into your brain and your heart and your physicality and let it be real because you've been told to make it real. And you want to make it real. Right. I was in a play on the road, and we were going through Texas, and I had to go in through the box office, and the box office person said, "Oh, y'all have play practice today?" And I thought, "No, we don't have play practice. We're actors, and we're about to rehearse a very important piece." And then I stopped, and I thought, "Yeah, we have play practice today." So there's just a go pretend aspect to it too.
I have to ask this question: how many of people that are out here today want to pursue voiceover or are interested in it at all? Any shape, form.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, don't be shy.
That's usually what half these questions are.
Chip
Go get 'em.
over there, Chip Beeman. Chip Beeman, ladies and gentlemen, of the Hal Pat Network, who is just, he was one of the first gentlemen I ever, in fact, the first person I worked on I think it was Final Fantasy, and it was also Metal Gear, that this gentleman is the foundation of a lot of this stuff that we do here today, and we couldn't do it without people like Chip, so yes, give it up for Chip.
Yeah.
Give it up for Chip. Chip Beeman. He loves bacon and NASCAR. I'm just saying.
All right, we got one more question right here from Bad Humans.
This question is for Heather. You said you didn't audition for paramedic originally. Did you
Yes.
audition for someone named Naomi Hunter?
Yes.
Do you know who Naomi
No one's
Hunter?
ever asked me that question before. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Do you know who Naomi Hunter is in the Metal Gear universe?
Do you?
I might. She's the adopted sister of Gray Fox.
Yes, because Gray Fox killed her parents.
It's getting good, y'all.
And he felt guilty. So he took, what a great character. So he took Naomi Hunter. She could be Naomi Fox. Yeah, she was part of my demise as well. So, but yeah, great question. Thank you for asking that.
All right, so our final question comes from the digital convention, and it's if your characters somehow got their own spin-off video game, what kind of genre would your game be? What would the paramedic game be like? What game? Yeah.
Wow, Red Dead Redemption. It would be
I like it.
a little Silent Hill. You know,
Ooh,
get a little bit in
yeah.
there. I love me some really spooky, fun stuff. I love the edgy. I think it would be a little on the dark side. A little bit on the dark side, a little scientific where she's able to actually get to play out that villainous character and show that, as you said so eloquently, my friend, the humanity. But yeah, she'd be either on a horse, she'd be riding a horse, like a little ocelot, little jingle jangle. So yeah, that.
Awesome.
The Pains genre would be a B movie.
Amazing.
I know Rykov's genre wouldn't be Mario Kart
Oh, come on.
or the Lego series.
Funny.
Could be funny though. It could work.
In the Lego series.
right?
You would be perfect.
Maybe
in
over the
that.
hedge. I don't know. Something.
I could see Cook Butt doing that.
I got to think about it.
Yeah, I'd hire you.
Sigma would probably go board games. Probably. Like a Trivial Pursuit, something with a question.
Yeah,
and
yes,
a whole bunch of
thinking
answers.
Trivial Pursuit. I like it.
Something like that.
You would be really
All
good at
right,
that.
everyone, we have made it to time for this panel. Give it up for all the wonderful voice actors. Yeah.
And to our digital friends at home,
Yes, our digital friends. And also, I wanted to give a shout out to our veterans, which is the Wounded Warrior Project.
Yeah.
And also, stacked up, give a little bit of love to our veterans out there, please.
Absolutely, yeah. We always like doing stuff for charity. The Wounded Warrior Project just made sense. Like the guy loses an arm in the game, so why not help people out?
And you know what? It's huge with suicide prevention.
Absolutely.
As well, because yeah.
And that's what community is. We all have to support each other. Everyone is fighting a battle that you have no idea what they're fighting, so we just have to be as kind as possible to everyone around us. And when I've gotten so lucky in my life to be able to do panels and stuff like this pretty regularly, and whenever I can find a way to do things for a good cause, it just makes it that much better for everybody involved. So thank you guys for helping support and raise this community up.
Thank you too much. Thank you.
One more time for the voice actors of Metal Gear Solid 3.
And Joe, our host.
Yeah,
Cheer
thank
for
you guys.
Joe.
Thank you guys.
Oh my God.
James, Heather, Charlie, Greg, Michael. Woo!
You guys are amazing.